At the third time of asking, good evening everyone and welcome to League of Europe. We are here for Season 3 of Division 1. It's round 17 of the Championship as we take in the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez from the Mexican Grand Prix. Good evening everyone, I'm James, going to be taking you through as always here in Division 1. But I'm not alone, as you might have seen in the lobby. I'm not alone. Mystery man, reveal yourself. Well, you're the sideman. You've literally skipped from Division 2 up to Division 1 as well, so very good promotion, I think, for J. Cole, and he is here purely because we're going to be testing a few things out on the stream, which I hope you guys will really appreciate, and you're joining me, and I mean, this should be a very good partnership, I think. I think it should be a fantastic race here tonight. It's Mexico, there's bound to be a lot of overtaking. Let me run you through then the main championship standings, because it is getting down really now to the nitty gritty. There was a poll put up on League of Europe Twitter earlier on. I think Alphatrix got the majority of the votes, even though I voted for Louis, and Alphatrix does lead the championship on 276 points. It's a 27-point gap to Louis on 249 points. That is how close it is here for the championship with 3 rounds to go. Third is Montana, now a reserve. He's back and in the McLaren alongside Heldorn tonight, and I'll come on to him in just a second. 165 points he is on. Verstappen in 4th on 126, with Campbell in 5th on 119. Cantera in 6th on 117, with NSX Alonso in 7th on 113, while Luigi in 8th on 101. It's really all between those guys, I think, in terms, and there's a good battle, could be going on for 4th over the next 3 rounds as well. Cohen in 9th on 55 points, and Bullet Boy in 10th on 53, and then a bit of a jump down to Larkin in 11th on 39, Schiaparelli in 12th on 36, Doom, in 13th on 35. Tied for 14th between Xjarry and Toxic, who's really came alive the last couple of weeks. They're on 30 points, as I say. Vaporizer in 16th on 21 points. Lakitu in 17th on 19 points, along with Jay Heldorn. He's got a qualifying ban because of holding up Campbell, I think, in qualifying last time out in Japan. So that is why he has picked up that qualifying ban. Spag and Chips in 19th on 16 points. Then we've got M Short in 20th on 8. Decky and Mercurial Caesar, 2 reserves, who I don't think are racing tonight. They're on 3 and 2 points respectively. We've got LR Ghost, Jay Frocker, Matthias, who now takes over the full-time racing point seat alongside VRT Schiaparelli, and a brand new driver who I know absolutely nothing about, TVH Ice-T. I'm not sure if you've had any experience of commentating on him before, J. Cole?
I haven't. He's definitely a new name to myself, and I'm not too sure who he is, but I mean, I guess we'll have to see how he does get on throughout this D1 grid. I mean, I've just seen Alphatrix has just came into the session, Lewis as well. I know these two are having an insane battle at the top of the grid, so again, that's a lot to keep our eye out on. But also throughout the grid, you've got not only just those two, you've got the likes of, you've got the 2 Spaniards that are also quite close in contention, along with the QBR lads, Campbell and Verstappen. They are relatively close with each other. If I'm not mistaken in the championship, I know you've just read them out,
yeah.
I'll get them up myself as well, but I believe that they are very close with each other. I think it's just a battle of the QBR who comes out on top.
It is, and I'm just looking at the battle for 4th. It's 25 points separating 4th down to 8th in the championship standings for the drivers' standings. Mercedes currently lead the way, and it is quite close actually between Mercedes and Ferrari. Mercedes lead the way on 302 points, with Ferrari in second on 292, McLaren in third on 195, Red Bull in fourth on 174, Haas in fifth on 162, then we've got Toro Rosso in sixth on 152, tied with Alfa Romeo on 152 as well for sixth, Renault Sport in 8th on 130, and then we've got Williams in 9th on 73, and Racing Point, hopefully they're not going to be firing their drivers at the end of the season, they're in 10th on 38 points respectively. That is a rundown. I thought we were going to get going. I was predicting the 30-second countdown to start, but we haven't. I think we might be waiting for another driver to join. But in the meantime, I mean, it's 17 corners round here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Division 1 last season was utterly phenomenal. We should see a lot of overtaking again, I feel.
Yeah, hopefully so. And like I said, that lead up down towards turn 1 is where it's probably going to be the most amount of carnage. As soon as we get past that turn 1, I think things will start to smooth out. I mean, I probably expect also the top 2 just to blast off, but I mean, there could be someone that could just all of a sudden be right up with those guys and potentially even try and snag some points away from the pair of them. As you said, those two are in the championship fight. Who knows who could take it?
Who knows who could take it? 19 drivers then about to take us around here. 17 corners await the guys, and of course the Division 3 stream is live. If you've mistakenly clicked on the Division 1 link and you've got Division and you want to watch Division 3, well, that link is also live as well. Just having a look at the comment section before we get going. J. Cole apparently very quiet on the mic. I think you might have just turned up your mic there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I can hear him now, yeah. Much clearer in my ear for sure. Good evening, James, and whoever is Colcom, says Yav. Doesn't even know who you are.
Mystery man. Mystery man.
Mystery man is very
every
mysterious.
Single week on D3 as well.
Oh dear, it's toxic. I'm gone. It's not toxic. Oh, it's toxic in the chat. I've just clicked on there. Goodness me. But we should see some great driving out on track tonight. We're just waiting then for the lobby to load up. And just to try and... I'll go into the Discord and have a delve into the penalties that some of these guys picked up. Apologies again to everyone that might have been expecting Division 1 stream about 6:30. Oh, and it's wet in qualifying. Wow.
Ooh.
And I think it's full wet as well.
It looks it.
It is.
It's definitely chucking it down.
There's full wet conditions. You can tell actually by the clouds, but you can also tell by the graphic as well. Full wet conditions in Mexican qualifying, and I can guarantee you this qualifying session will not dry out. Guaranteed. Should be interesting.
It certainly will be, and I can see Larkin in the chat also putting that it is a dry race, so just a full wet qualifying. Now, I'm expecting a lot of these guys going out on a dry setup, but I mean, that also means that they're going to be having we're going to see a few spins in qualifying. So I guess we'll have to keep our eye out on a few guys that are going to be doing that. I can already see a Red Bull is making his way out of the pits. I believe that is Cohen, so he will be the first one to set a lap.
Yeah, Cohen, the first one to come out on track, and we're already nearly a minute through qualifying. Good evening to everyone, of course, that is tuning in to League of Europe. Division 1, Division 3 also live as well, and Cohen going to be here for the long run, and he is the Dutchman. You can see how wet it is. Look at the infield, look at the grass. Pretty much sodden completely. It's like flooded. And it's only going to get worse as well with the amount of rain that is coming down out on track.
I mean, yeah, I'm hoping it's not going to get worse, because then I think everyone will just be sliding around everywhere. But I think it might already, just looking at Cohen's point of view, the rain could be easing up relatively soon. I reckon toward the end of this end of qualifying, we're going to see a few guys go, maybe try and opt to go on the Inters and see how it could be. Maybe if they try and stack it up now, just get at least a bit of a banker in with these wet tyres. We'll see towards the end of the qualifying session, it could just be a little bit less wet.
You can only see the blackening on the racing line. That indicates there is going to be intermediate conditions. That's what you should look out for. I can also honestly see a bit of a blackening in the line currently. You can see the racing line, the natural racing line out on track. It is a little bit blackened, so we should be seeing Inters, I think, maybe just before the halfway stage in qualifying. Cohen about to come round for a lap. Jekyll, you can take us through this lap.
Certainly will. So, Cohen coming across the line now, straight into overtake DRS, and gets that DRS wide open, although he doesn't actually have any DRS open. I wonder if his DRS is been a bit of a fault, but
it's wet.
nonetheless. Oh, it is wet. Why have I just think of that? I'm really sorry. Here we go, round turn 1 now, gets a nice entrance for turn 1, round through turn 2 and 3. You can take that bit of corner, but not too wide. Out of turn 3 now, and DRS would have been open, but it's not because it's wet. Now leading up in towards turn 4, you've got Brenning towards the 100-metre board in the wet, maybe between 100 and 150, gets that slowed down very nicely, does Cohen. Round turn 5 now. There's a little bit of a wobble there, but now it's just around a double right-hander. Coming towards the tight and twisty sector 2 of the S's. Now this one, if you do get it right, is very easy to invalidate around here, but gets it slowed down very nicely, does Cohen, and keeps it to the apex on the right now, through to the left, and now the final right up towards the long left. Needs to get a very good exit coming out of here. Doesn't go too wide as well, so it does keep that as a valid lap. Now up towards sector 3, towards the stadium section. Has he got that slowed down enough? He does take a little bit of the run off on the outside of there, gets that slowed down enough. And is he going to be able to take the apex? He will. And goes very deep into the small little kink in the stadium section, but it's still a valid lap for now, and Cohen looks like this could be a decent lap to start off with. He comes across the line and does a 1 minute 28.0 dead on, and we'll see how everybody else fares on. The Chaparral has done a 28.5.
Yeah, we should see quite a close qualifying session. I mean, Toxic just jumped in between them both as well, 28.1, but Cohen currently setting the early times. I think we've got Louis coming around the final corner, who inevitably is going to go quicker with a 27.6. Not as quick, I think, as what he would have hoped, but Louis, 27.6, currently out on top. Alonso just going into 4th there as well. Cantera, who was invalidated on his lap coming around the final corner, so he's not going to get a valid lap in there. Alpha Trix, the championship leader, coming into tonight. Louis, of course, chasing him down. Campbell, by the way, has gone second, 27.664, and Alpha Trix across the line goes quicker than Louis already, so 27.3 for the Ferrari man out on track, and it's championship leader against championship second, filling out the first two positions in the grid currently.
Yeah, it certainly is, and Campbell as well, very close to the back of Louis on that one as well. As Larkin, I've just watched him come across the line, goes into P10 just up ahead of Spag Chips, and splitting him and Chapelele. But it's just keeping our eye out on those top 3 guys, as you said, including actually Cohen as well, because he looks like he's done a decent lap in that wet set of tyres as well. And you can already see, as you were saying before, James, the black lines outlining where the braking points will be and the actual racing line. It might actually start to go to Inters very soon.
Yeah, I think within the next, I would say from the 10 minutes of that start of qualifying, it's probably going to be in and around that point we should see the switch. It could be the case, actually, where we see the last person come across the line could get potential pole position. That's, I think, what might happen here. The key to, by the way, I was just on board with him, made a little mistake, 28.8, good lap though by him. He's already 5 tenths up through the first sector, so this is going to be probably his better lap. Just to have a repeat of the stewards report, Heldon receiving the qualifying ban for the next race for blocking Campbell during qualifying. That was why he picked that up. Alpha Trix as well, his inquiry for cutting the final chicane. No further action taken against Alpha Trix. M Short's 5-second time penalty removed last time in Japan. And we've also had Heldon receive a 1-place penalty and 5 penalty points as well. And Louis, his 3-second time penalty was not removed at all, and that was due to the fact that he overtook Montana off track in a wrong position. Rikitu, however, coming around turn 16 now, the Mercedes man, I think he's going to be well up here with this pace. Oh no, he's not, because he's coming into the pits. Typical.
Yeah, it always happens. You think everyone's on a lap, but all of a sudden they're just making their way into the pits. However, I think there is one person that is on that lap, and Joom is the one that's coming around the final corner. He actually invalidated it, so he's going to be going again for his new lap. So if you want to take this one away then, James? Yeah,
Joom the Spaniard is coming around the first couple of corners, or he's coming down towards turn 1. 205 mile an hour, he can reach in excess of 210 normally in the dry. There's the yellow flag in sector 2. Looks like a Toro Rosso might be around. That might be Spag and Chips. Louis goes to the top at 26.9, however, from the Mercedes man. Ice-T was coming around the final corner. He's already been into the pit lane, and Joom has already invalidated his lap. Joom tends to struggle more in the wets than he does in the dry conditions, and that's why we're seeing him maybe not get a lap in just yet out on track. Bullet Boy as well made a mistake, 35.5 from him, 5/10 down, and it was Spag, I think, that lost a little bit off his front wing, and Alphatrix responds to Louis. So apologies, I missed the end of his lap, but Alphatrix now responds to Louis, and it's about a 1/10 of a second separating first and second out on track. And look at the difference between second and third. I mean, it's 7/10 of a second. I don't think I've ever seen two drivers dominant this far, this early in qualifying.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how much they've absolutely run away just in the qualifying. I know Lewis is definitely known for being very, very good in the wet, so I would be expecting him to take pole, although Alphatrix is definitely giving him a very, very good run for his money, considering he's the one that is currently sitting on pole. Whilst you were going through that, I just checked in. Verstappen put himself into P4, only just a 10th behind his QVR compadre of Campbell, done a 27.7, and I'm watching one of the other QVR compadres of Curran just out on his lap currently as he makes his way past sector 1. It says on the top right for me he's on an out lap, but he did just cross the line, so it looks as if he is actually on a lap.
Yeah, a little bit of a glitch, I think, in terms of that. I think it was a 30.6 through the first sector, if I'm not mistaken. 28 flat, currently his personal best, and Cohen taking it nice and easy through the S section, through now towards turn 12, and then through 13, and into, not 13 and 14, God no, goodness me, this is me going completely crazy with the corners. Now we're running down towards turn 13, towards the baseball stadium section, and Cohen now running through very nicely indeed, just has a little bit of an opposite lock moment on the exit of the corner. Cohen now coming around the final couple of corners. Now through 14, now through 15. Count them up as you go along. I've clearly failed GCSE maths, so that's why I can't count. Cohen looks like he's going to come back into the pits. I wonder actually if he invalidated on that lap, and that's why it came up as an out lap.
Or, this could be an interesting one, Larkin has actually gone out on a set of the inters.
Ooh. Let's see how he's getting on. Doesn't look like he's coping well through turn 3 there. There's a yellow flag in sector 2 and 3 as well. Ciappellelli, who's had a bit of a moment. Looks like he's lost left side end plate damage. Larkin, yeah, on an out lap again. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Looks like, has he just came out the pits actually, Larkin?
I think he has, yeah. I thought it was actually said he was on a lap because it just disappeared on the far right, so I'm not too sure what just happened there, but must be just on an out lap at the moment.
We'll monitor him though, coming round towards the S section now. Matthias as well is on a lap, and looks like, oh, and Larkin in fact has invalidated what appears to be his lap/out lap. You can probably appreciate how many glitches this game has, considering the Codemasters are working on the new F1 2020 game, due to be released of course on the 10th of July. And Larkin coming around the final couple of corners. We see a Red Bull just going wide in the background there. That will bring in Campbell. And he's 7,000 down through the middle sector. Let's see how he's coping through this middle sector. And now through into the final sector. Matthias goes 11th with a 28.551. Same lap as his teammate, funny enough. So Matthias goes 11th. Campbell, though, coming across the line now. Does he improve? He doesn't. 4/10 down in the end. Bullet Boy, by the way, third. 27.4. Really best of the rest currently.
Yeah, he's definitely done a good effort there. I think that was just whilst we were going on board with, I think it was Cohen whilst we were watching him through that, or Larkin, but I think he's going for another lap again because he was only just shy of a 10th down on his time.
Let's have a look then as he comes through the double right-hander through turn 6. That is a double right-hander, trust me. That is turn 6. Now through turn 7 and 8, through the S section we come. And that is not going to be improvement because he's just totally buggered that through the S section. So Bullet Boy not on a lap there. Is anybody else on a lap? Montana is. He's coming into the baseball stadium section. Let's see how he's going to get on. The defending champion, of course. Going to lose his title this season. But Montana coming around the final corner. I think he might go third possibly with this lap. No, he won't because he's into the pits. Typical again.
Always happens. Bloody commentator's curse, I think.
Commentator's curse. Larkin 2/10 up through the middle sector. He just lost 1400s actually through that middle sector. Just cuts across on the curb. Track extension is quite prevalent. I know there's been a steward's inquiry about that, and that can be found on the Discord for anybody that is off the benefit of the doubt. But Larkin coming around the final corner. Looks like he's going to improve maybe around Matthias Ciappellelli sort of area as he comes across the line now. Nick spins it through, and he does. He improves, but it's a 28.5 and a set of inters. I don't think the rain has let up just yet, but the delta time could be on the swing, possibly to the inters. I think we'll see inters at the end of this session, to be honest.
I think we will as well, because just looking at it, are the drivers that have actually got them fitted on. Lewis is also one of them. Verstappen has gone out on his outlap on a set of inters. Cantera, I think, is also thinking of a set of inters. Yeah, Lewis now on an outlap, and same with Chapelele on a set of intermediates.
Yeah, Chapelele I'm on board with on a set of intermediates. Looking like he's obviously getting to the grips of those tyres well, but the main indicator is the blackening of the track on the racing line. That's what you should see in terms of the wet compound of tyres essentially switching to intermediate conditions. The rain really has not let up though. The Chapelele just invalidates slightly. Ice-T, by the way, has just started a lap, as has Lakitu, but 0.4 of a second up was Lakitu, but he invalidated. So right on board with the Lebanese man, Ice-T, runs wide through turn 3, but now on the run down towards turn 4. Not looking as quick as what we would have hoped from a debutant here in Division 1, and yeah, he's 1.1 seconds down. So I think actually he might have just improved on his lap, 28.6, going 15th out on track.
Very, very interesting. I'm also just keeping an eye on a few of the other guys. Yeah, Chapelele now just starting his lap on the set of the inters. He could be one to definitely look out for coming towards the end of qualifying. And I think what you were saying before as well, James, is definitely right. Whoever's going to be the last one across the line to do a lap could potentially be the one on pole. I mean, also very interestingly enough, Alphatrix went out on a set of wet tyres when Lewis went out on a set of inters, but I think he's just made his way back into the pits now because I think he's realised I think it is intermediate compound.
Yeah, got to be honest, Chapelele, Campbell getting out of the way, and Chapelele actually was quicker than Campbell coming through into the middle sector. He's looking good. He was only 500 up though through the first sector. Let's see how he can do, the German, as he comes through turn 7 and 8 now. Through the S section, came 5 corners through here. This is turn 9, then through the right-hander at turn 10, then through the left-hander at turn 11. Not really getting the grip as what he would have hoped. I think still it's possibly wet compound of size. Let's see what his middle sector adds up to. He's only a 10th up. Obviously it is going to be, I think, a case of last across the line might get pole position. Whoever that person is might have a good chance. We should see Chapelele, though, improving on this lap. Coming out of the baseball stadium section now. Through turn 16 and then through turn 17. Just having a bit of opposite locking. In fact, he's going to come back into the pit. So Chapelele clearly not feeling he's into the pit. He just speeds on literally through into the pit lane. Thank God for the automatic pit limiter. Otherwise, there might have been a few casualties within that pit lane.
Yeah, it certainly would be. And I'm just looking at one of the NSX guys as well, currently starting their laps. In fact, Alonso, I've just realised how close they are together. 8th and 9th, they're only split by just 2,000 of a second, especially with the two racing points as well, down in 13th and 14th, literally having the exact same time as you pointed out earlier, James, and all. But keeping on board with Alonso through sector 1, going through turns 2 and turn 3, gets a little bit of an oversteer on the exit. I don't think he invalidated his lap from that ever so slightly, but I believe he also has his NSX counterpart just up ahead of him, as Alonso is actually 2 tenths down on his time in comparison to, I'm not too sure what Montana has done, but Alonso, he's got to try and get a move on if he wants to try and get an improvement on that time, although I would assume he's going to be going for another lap after this one.
He'll have to go for another lap, I think, after this one. The rain is still teeming down here in Mexico. It's still Alphatrix out on top. Louis in second. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty, though, in qualifying. Montana, as we see him fly through the S section through turn 11. Looking good through there. The track beginning to warm, maybe, to the intermediate tyres. And he is 4 tenths up, fastest in the middle sector as well. So we should see Montana come into fruition here and maybe go ahead of the likes of Bullet Boy. Could go third, I think, with this lap. Montana, as he comes through. Mercedes has spun it through the S section. I think that might have been Lakitu on his outlap, if I'm not mistaken. Montana now coming around the final corner. Let's see what he's going to do. Is he going to improve actually ahead of Alphatrix and Louis? No, but he goes third, 27.2. We will see the lap times fall down quite literally out on track. It was Louis, I think, that might have had a moment through the S section, and he's backed off his lap completely. He's going to go and wanting to wait for B, the last across the line. Matthias 14th currently. I think we just saw somebody improve. It was Spag going up into 11th. Matthias, though, in the meantime, 2.5 tenths up. Let's see what the Dutchman can do in his newfound full-time Racing Point seat. He is a 10th, nearly 2 tenths up through into the baseball stadium section. But we should see the lap times begin to come down from this point.
Yeah, certainly will. So here we go, Matthias now just making a way around the final corner. As is he going to be an improvement from his 128.5? It doesn't look like it is actually. No, it isn't.
It looked like he backed off actually coming through the final corner, maybe to go on to his final lap. So that's why I think we've seen Matthias. There is a Ferrari, I think, round in the middle sector. That'll be Alphatrix, I think, just starting off on a lap. Well, certainly he was on an outlap the last time I saw him. Lakita 6 tenths up through the first sector. Ice-T is 200ths down on a set of wet compound of tyres. And yeah, Alphatrix was the one getting out of the way. It is going to be literally last across the line. Whoever that Renault is, I think, is that Waluigi, if I'm not mistaken. He is on a lap. Might be one of the ones to come might be one of the last ones to come across the line here. Waluigi decides to ride on board within the Belgian, ever consistent, of course, running a typical Waluigi styled helmet, comes across the line, goes 9th, 27.999. Hopefully won't be falling that full number in the race, and it's actually a 28th lap, but on my screen it's a 27.999. Let's see. And right on board with, as Louis is invalidated coming through into the baseball section. He was 0.2 of a second up on his time, so Louis has invalidated, will not be improving. So it looks like it could be between Alphatrix and Montana possibly. And I mean, Alphatrix is a 10.5 down as well. We're literally at the point where the tyres are at their finest margins, quite literally. Who are you on board with? And tyres coming around the final corner, 7th.
Ooh.
27.549 goes 7th. Good lap there by Matthias. Anybody else improving?
I'm just watching on board with Cantera as he's making his way around the final corner now. I think he was 3 tenths up through sector 2 as he makes his way up towards the line. Cantera, is it an improvement? Oh, is it? Oh, for me it was still... It's weird. I didn't say it was an invalid one for me. It was
0.03 of a second improvement, but it was an invalid lap. The red sectors were the big indicator there. Montana is coming around the final corner. Both not improving here, Alphatrix, and Toxic goes 4th. 27.3. Good lap by Toxic. Montana across the line not improving. Alphatrix across the line barely improves. 0.03 of a second. And Waluigi not improving on his lap. So it's Alphatrix who takes pole position by the narrowest of margins, by literally just under 0.2 of a second out on track. But you should see the qualifying being quite close. Let's have a rundown of the grid then. Alphatrix on top from Louis in 2nd. Difference in the tyres. There won't be any difference in the tyres for the race. Montana in 3rd with Toxic in 4th. Makita in 5th. Good qualifying from him with Campbell in 6th. Bullet Boy, the wet specialist, in 7th from Verstappen in 8th. Matthias in 9th. And Larkin filling out the top 10. It's Cohen in 11th. Alonso in 12th. Cantera 13th. Waluigi 14th. Ciappellelli 15th. Spag in 16th. Top 16 covered by less than 1.4 seconds. Ice-T on his debut in 17th. And held on with that qualifying ban in 18th. And Doom, he really doesn't like the wet. He didn't set a single lap time. I don't blame him, to be honest.
no lap time for the Spaniard. I think a few people probably had that in a few votes for him to not being able to set a lap. I think Mark was also one of them. I think he was saying it a bit earlier on this evening, saying that Jim is more than likely who could potentially be disqualified in the race. I think that's what he's got his money on.
So Mark is now resting a fiver, I think, on Jim getting disqualified from the race. This is the difference between him buying a 12-pack of beer and him not buying it at all. There we go. I'm sure he'll like that comment coming through from me. Anyways, we're here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. It's a dry race, which I'm very glad to report. And 17 turns away, the driver's out on track. Numerous opportunities for overtaking. From what we've seen in qualifying, are we going to see a difference in how drivers approach their race? And I know you the answer to this question before even asking it.
In fact, it might actually not be the answer. I'm going to say there's not going to be any difference. I think, because even though it was wet, I still don't think that's going to stop anyone from going about it any differently than what they were going to start off with. I think majority of guys might end up going on a one stop, just certainly so they can get a bit of an undercut, because I can see Alphatrix on a set of the mediums already, and same with, I think, Lewis is as well. In fact, only the top three. Oh, wow.
So let's have a look then through the strategies that the guys have run. We'll go with the soft runners first. Toxic, Campbell, Bullet Boy, Verstappen, Matthias, Larkin, Cohen, while Luigi Schiaparelli, Spag and Heldorn, all very interestingly I think, on the set of soft compounded tyres. Now obviously these guys are on a fresh set of compounded tyres. There was no obviously dryness in qualifying, so these guys have had free choice over their tyres. But the difference in strategy is quite startling. Those softs are only going to last, what, 6-7 laps? If that.
Somewhere around that, yeah. So, wow, the top three, all going on the same strategy, all going on a set of the medium tyres. Toxic, he's definitely one we need to try to keep our eye out on, because him starting in between those two, between all those medium runners at the top, on a set of the softs, he could be a little bit of a dark horse for these guys in between, because I think it is possible, especially with them starting on a fresh compounded tyre, they could potentially do a one-stop with a soft to hard, but he would need to control those tyres as best as he possibly can.
They'll have to control those tyres, and looking at the strategies, I've got a little track guide up about this. Fastest is the softs to hard, so you're rightfully saying there, the softs to hard. Slightly slower is a soft, medium stint, so that'll be a two-stop strategy, but the fastest strategy around here is soft to hard. Pit window, mediums to hards, lap 7 to lap 9. If you're pitting softs to mediums, it'll be lap 6 or 7, and then going for the two-stop, it'll be lap 17 and 18. Tyre delta, a difference of a second per lap between the softs and the mediums, and a second between softs and hard, 1.5 seconds quickly before we're going to start the race. Who's your top three?
Oh, that's a tough one to call. I think, I reckon Nikitu's going to get in the top three. I reckon it'll be, in this order, Lewis, Alpha and Nikitu. I think the two Mercedes will come first and third.
Interesting, I'm going to go Louis, Alphatrix and Campbell. I think Campbell might have a good race. But the 5 red lights then are about to go out. Final 3 rounds of the championship. We begin here in Mexico for round 17, and it's lights out. Now where we go, and Alphatrix gets a great start. Louis bogs down slightly, will tuck into the slipstream, running down towards turn 1, and now Louis got the advantage. Distinct advantage from Toxic as well. It's going to go side by side. There's 4 wide in the background in the midfield. Louis and Alphatrix are down towards turn 1, and Louis got the outside line and takes the lead of the race through turn 1. Round the outside he goes. Phenomenal move, and there's 3 wide in the background. Montana Campbell trying to get himself in there as well. Toxic is through on Montana. Great start by Toxic up to third. Bit of a lag there from the Haas. That is Bullet Boy Verstappen as well. Going side by side down towards turn 4. Everyone nice on the braking zone, hopefully. Everyone clean through so far. I don't think I've seen any front wing come off from anyone, which is fantastic to see. Louis has got the lead though. 0.6 of a second early from Alphatrix in second. Toxic clear. Montana fourth. We right on board though with the midfield pack as Matthias tries to close in on Schiaparelli, his teammate, while Luigi on the back as well. All the soft runners really down and have pretty much lost positions, I think. Campbell down to 6th, trying to go 3 wide, of course, through turn 2 and 3, but Campbell on the back of Lakitu, on board with Verstappen as well. Bit of a train actually being held up behind Lakitu. Lakitu obviously on a set of medium compounded tyres, currently in 5th. He's holding up a bit of a train, while Luigi is through on Matthias. There was a bit of a desync there, PG18 going on there. As we start lap 2, it's Louis who leads, 0.7 of a second. Alphatrix in second, Toxic there, Montana 4th, and Lakitu running off the top 5. Matthias, Cohen, all into the pits as well as Alonso. So I think they've picked up front wing damage. Campbell on the back of Lakitu. I will eventually hand over to you, Jaco, as down in towards turn 1. Campbell tries to get the move done, but not going to be quite close enough to the back of Lakitu. Lap 1, very good stuff from everyone.
It certainly was, and also just watching on board the Toxic, how close he is to Alphatrix. I know they're a different set of compound tyres, but Toxic is definitely going to be one we need to keep our eye out on. He is only just 2 tenths, well, he was about 2 tenths, just behind the Ferrari of Alphatrix, and this could be huge for Lewis if Toxic does get past the Ferrari in question. Now, I think going through turn 1 as well on that first lap, I was seeing Campbell trying to keep it around the inside and maybe around the outside of all of those guys with Montana and Toxic. I think with a little bit of mistake, Campbell, I think hit a little bit of contact between him and Montana, which allowed Toxic to go through from Montana, and Montana now obviously down into P4. June, I said this, he's down, he's already gotten the 3-second time penalty on the second lap, so we're only getting closer and closer to Mark's bet.
Yeah, he was running wide there, I think through the S section. I saw that on the mini map. Toxic in the meantime on the back of Alphatrix. We begin lap 3. Louis sets the fastest lap of the race. Surprised actually that Toxic didn't set the fastest lap of the race, so he's clearly slower than Alphatrix and Louis in front of him. Can Toxic get the run? There's no DRS, remember, down toward until they get around the next part of the lap, pretty much. Campbell and Lakitu are going side by side and are having a drag race down towards turn 1. Bit of a frame drop on my end as Campbell goes around the outside on Lakitu. Fantastic stuff by the Scotsman. Campbell down the inside using those soft compound sides to good effect, but now Lakitu is going to try and have a good run at him here. He switches to the inside towards turn 4. Can Verstappen get the inside line as well? Lakitu leans on Campbell slightly, coming through turn 5. And Campbell and Lakitu are still side by side. There's phenomenal stuff between them both, but it is inevitably going to be Campbell who gets the move done. Little bit of a Constantino effect, and there's 3 wide in the background. I dare think this is not going to end well. Verstappen somehow has held the position though, unlocking a bullet boy, and somehow they've kept it all clean through there. Phenomenal stuff from the mid-pack battling. Well, Eugene Schiaparelli now on the back list, but my God, that was close.
That was very close as well. I was just watching on board with Verstappen whilst he was just behind those 2 guys that were battling, Lakitu and Campbell. Oh, a bit of a spin from Bullet Boy. I think a bit of contact between him and Schiaparelli.
Trying to go up the inside there, Bullet Boy. Trying to get the move done. Never going to work. Too wide into the baseball stadium section. Never going to work. And Bullet Boy has found it the hard way. He's spun and he's down in 16th position. Sorry, Jekyll, what were you saying there?
No, that's fine. He's just had another spin around the stadium section. His tyres are definitely overheated, and he hasn't got any wing damage, luckily, so hopefully Bullet Boy can try and get his stride back on. But anyway, with Verstappen, when he was going through the double right-hander, I think made a little bit of contact with Campbell. As you said, having that Constantino effect, a little bit of a half spin, and then that's what caused them to go to 3 wide. And I think Bullet Boy actually lost out those positions from it, as he's actually retired from the session.
Retiring from the session, yeah, I can understand why he's done that, but I mean, top 15 pay for points, and inevitably a 2-stop strategy. If he went to a set of mediums, try and last for around lap 16, go on to a set of hards, he could have been right in the thick of things later on. I question people that retire, to be honest. Matthias has picked up a 3-second time penalty. Toxic low on the back of Alpha Trix. He's close to the back of Alpha Trix, but he cannot get that move done for second position. Louis is still out in front, and everyone just track extending slightly, coming towards the baseball stadium section through turn 13, and Toxic actually just mullers turn 15 there, cutting across completely. I think that's probably a warning for him. Louis out in front though, Alpha Trix in second. Is this the chance that Toxic would have been hoping for? Remember, Alpha Trix has got DRS as well, running down towards turn 1. And I think these 3 are pretty much going to stay in the same positions as they are, to be honest. Heldorn is into the pits, the McLaren man into the pits early. 31 laps for a set of hard compounded tyres, that's impossible, I think.
Yeah, it definitely would be. If Heldorn does go on a set of, he's got on a set of mediums, so he'll probably want to come out around that same lap as you were saying about lap 16, lap 17. You can take the mediums for about 12 laps. It's just very difficult to do so. Again, you have to just do a lot of tyre strategy, a lot of tyre saving, sorry. But Toxic, as you was talking about him as well, he just doesn't seem to be closing up to the back of Alpha Trix. I know he's got the DRS on the back of Lewis as well, so I think that's really what is causing him to not be able to catch up. If Toxic wants to get that catch up to Alpha Trix, he's going to need to hope that Lewis just breaks that DRS from him.
Yeah, I think Louis obviously is dominating the race out in front at 0.6 of a second. Alpha Trix just running wide again. That's twice now I've seen them do that, and I know the stewards will be cutting down maybe on track extension. Speaking of which, Toxic has just track extended. 3-second time penalty for him. He mullered turn 13 last time out, and he's mullered turn 13 again, turn 14 again this time around. So Toxic trying to get onto the back of Alpha Trix. There was a position gain. I think it was Ice-T passing Cantera out on track, and in fact Cantera into the pits, and it looked like to me as if he had right side end plate damage, but in the meantime Montana's getting overtaken by Campbell for 4th position. Just coming on late on board with that, Campbell gets the move done on Montana, and he's through and he's up to P4. Good move.
Yeah, I think it was just an easy bit of a DRS one, as Cantera has also retired from the session. I think he did start on a set of the hard compounds, and I think from there he knew that it was just going to be a bit difficult for him to try and have any way to catch up. But new Waluigi and Spag and Chips also going side by side from turn 4. Spag just keeping that down the inside and actually got that move done. I was watching these 2 battle in Singapore, and now they're back at the Autodromos of de Hermanos, I think, if I've said that right.
Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. I'll dig you out of that hole. I'll dig you out of that one. Spag in 10th position. Cantera leaving the session. Again, a bit questionable him leaving the session. I really like to see pretty much everyone still going round out on track. He is going to... his car was actually retired coming out of the pit lane. So he retired in the pits, but his car went out of the pit lane still. Toxic looking closer visibly, this time on the back of Alphatrix, but again, that DRS is not good enough. And I mean, Toxic is not running any ERS down the straight, so he is saving this up, and he doesn't want to attack the back of Alphatrix because I think he knows Louis ahead is enough for Alphatrix now to be on the back foot in the championship.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, Toxic is the one that's going to have something to put into it.
Sorry to cut in there. Montana just had a complete and utter mistake. Coming down, went too deep through turn 1. Nearly ran wide and has got Lakitu now on the back of him, but is not going to get the move done. Apologies there.
No problem. Yeah, as you say, Montana, you can see how much closer Lakitu's caught up to the back of him as well, and now you can start to see a bit of a train of forming from Campbell all the way down. In fact, there's actually all the way down towards Spag and Chips, even a bit further to New Waluigi.
Wow. Insane train, I think. They're probably going to try and get on the Northern Express down to London, to be honest. Alphatrix on the back of Louis. We're having a good battle as well further down the field. Alonso and Heldon, final point scoring position on the line. Both of these, of course, being into the pit lane. Alonso sails around the outside. Can the German get the move done? Can the Dutchman get the move done around the outside? He's going to overtake off track. I think he will rejoin safely. He does. And Alonso just about gets that move done. But I think there might have been a little bit of contact between Heldon and Cohen, because Cohen lost 2 positions in all of that. June again, 3-second time penalty, and Chapelelli first one into the pits on a set of softs as well.
Very interesting, as Alpha is very close to the back of Lewis now. He's almost touching the back of that back wing on the Mercedes. I think that DRS has just ever so slightly helped him, and now he's got the DRS once again on the Mercedes up front. But I don't think he's close enough in almost turn 4 to getting a move done, so he's just going to have to stay behind him for yet another lap. But Toxic is now also very close to the back of Alphatrix. We could be seeing something go on in towards turn 1 on the next lap.
Gotta be honest, Toxic, I think the soft runners have got to start pitting very soon indeed. Chapelelli, I think, has tried to go for an undercut on everyone. The undercut quite potent around here, of course, in Mexico. It's something like 18 seconds or 20 seconds or something like a pit stop around here. So the more time that the guys gain on an undercut, the more time they will be in front when these guys pit. The key to 3-second time penalty just coming out of the S section in the background of shot as we ride on board with Toxic out on track. Campbell catching my eye though in 4th position. My prediction currently is just 1 place off. Toxic, please go backwards a little bit. Just go down to 4th and it'll be all fine.
We need to start keeping a tally of who's going to be right on the top 3 soon, aren't we?
I never get a prediction right. Verstappen and Larkin, interestingly, both into the pit on a set of soft Compano tyres. So maybe they've heard my track guide earlier on within the formation app, and these guys have gone on to a set of medium Compano tyres for Larkin and a set of mediums for Verstappen. So these guys look to me as if they're going 2-stop.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, and this is going to be a bit of an interesting one as well, because Campbell is ahead of these 2 medium runners. In fact, I think Montana's about to go for a dive on Campbell.
Down the inside.
In towards turn 4, goes very wide out of the exit of it. Campbell maybe trying to get a switchback done. No, he doesn't.
Beautiful.
Montana does cover that off beautifully. So good, very good work from Montana to get that move done. And now your prediction is moving further and further away now, James.
No, typical Montana though. Fair play to him, and actually Louis has lost it through the S section, and I think Alphatrix has got the lead of the race. Louis has had a mistake, I think, through the S section, and Alphatrix has taken the lead of the race. But I wonder if this is going to help Toxic possibly get an undercut on these guys later, because those mediums are looking like, to be honest, they're overheating on Louis' car, and Alphatrix is just taking this just a stride too slow, but a stride better currently than Louis out on track in terms of the tyres. We're only on lap 10, and Alphatrix leads Louis 2nd, Toxic in 3rd. These guys have remained pretty much as they are from lap 1. Nobody into the pits and behind. Spag is, however. So Spag is into the pits, driving a good race so far, actually, out on track. Alphatrix, Louis and Toxic though, 1st, 2nd and 3rd. And Louis, a very rare mistake from him.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you wouldn't expect Lewis to be making those kind of mistakes through that, and now Alphatrix, as you said, is now just gaining a lead from it, gotten that position from that Mercedes. I'll tell you what though, even though we were criticising him at the beginning of the stream, I'll tell you, the one to keep our eye on for definite is June, because he's the only one that started, him and Cantera were the two that started on the set of the hard compounds, and June is currently up into 9th. He is probably going to try and just do a one stop on the hards to maybe softs or hards to mediums. Now, if June does pull this one off, he could be looking at around the top 6 finish, especially when a few of these guys are also doing 2 stops from a soft, medium.
I think when he comes into the pits, it could be a case of his pace beginning to drop off. There's a fight going on here for 11th in the meantime, and it looks like Verstappen has got the move done, actually unlocking, just running on board a little bit late with that, but Verstappen is through on Larkin, and we've got Heldorn and Alonso having a right set to here, coming through in towards the double right to turn 6. June, 3 second time penalty, that's now 9 seconds he's got, and Toxic is into the pits from 3rd, and Campbell into the pits, interestingly, as well, from, I think that was 4th, if I'm not mistaken, or 5th.
And now, New Waluigi, the only one that is left on a set of softs. So he actually might be going for that one stop, as Toxic and Campbell both put on a set of medium compounds, so they're 2 stopping it.
Well ahead.
New Waluigi, yeah, he could potentially be going for a one stop on these guys.
Oh, Schiaparelli, I think, is just going to get out ahead of Campbell here. Yeah, Schiaparelli is going to be ahead of Campbell, probably by about 5/10 of a second as we come down. So Schiaparelli has undercut Campbell in the pit stops, but remember that 3 second time penalty is going to be key as Larkin dives it down the inside through turn 1. Can he get the move done? He can't. Verstappen holds firm and he holds on for 11th position, but the Ferrari, the Tifosi car, in a bit of a Toro Rosso sandwich, or is he trying to get out of that sandwich? He's trying to escape from the bread, currently out on track. Larkin down the inside line. Can he get the move done? Yes, he can. He gets the move done. He's up into 11th position, so escapes from the sandwich there of the 2 Toro Rossos, and arguably I think Spag is looking quicker out of all of these 3.
Yeah, he certainly is, especially being on, I know it's only one lap fresher soft tyres, or medium tyres shall I say, but that can be key as well, especially with these 2 battling constantly. Spag definitely the one that's going to be trying to make his way past his teammate, and not only that, the Ferrari just up ahead of him. Meanwhile, a little bit further up on ahead as well, Lewis is still keeping that gap to Alphatrix at around 5/10. He is still managing to keep up with him. He's just got to hope that Alphatrix does a similar mistake, as the 2 Renaults have just changed positions. IST going straight down the inside of New Waluigi. New Waluigi's tyres are definitely going to be very worn at this point, but I think he is going to try and go for a one stop.
He is going to try and go one stop. I mean, set of softs to a set of hards. He should have pitted in, well, he's got to pit in probably in the next couple of laps, I would think. Next 3 laps, I'm thinking, in terms of a hard strategy around here. But doing a good job, and I've got to be honest, Ice-T on his debut, he's been overtaken. Well, he was slow off the start, but I'll tell you what, he's getting going in this race. He could be a one to watch out for later on, possibly for top 10 finish. He's doing well, the debutant, in 5th position, going past, as you say, Waluigi, his teammate. Joom has picked up 9 seconds worth of time penalty, so if Mark is keeping tally, that's probably 9 seconds towards a disqualification from him out on track, and 9 seconds towards you getting your 12-pack of beer later on.
I think Mark will very much enjoy that one, especially after the D2 race.
He will definitely. Campbell on the back of Schiaparelli though in the meantime, and the Scotsman on the back of the German. And Schiaparelli probably driving one of his better races here in League of Europe. He had a good race in Italy in TTL F1 League 1 back on 2 weeks ago, I think it was, on a Thursday, and Schiaparelli now beginning to feel a little bit under pressure from Campbell here. Arguably, I'd say, having one of his better races here in League of Europe. Campbell though on the back of him as he tries to hunt him down. You can probably see where this one is going to go. Look at the closing speed in excess of 210 mile an hour. Campbell is going to sail it down the inside, and he gets the move done, or does he? Because Schiaparelli's trying to hang this around the outside. The German trying to hold sway. Little bit of a cut up there, possibly by Campbell. That is racing though, and Schiaparelli's actually got the cut back on him. So we're side by side. Spag has also gone through on Verstappen and behind as well. Can Schiaparelli go around the outside here of turn 4? Can he get the move done? No, he can't. I think Campbell is just about going to hold on, or is he? Good. Schiaparelli now switches the inside line, nearly runs into the back of them, but very good battling there, and Campbell finally gets the move done. Arguably the fresher tyres coming into play there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a very good move from the Red Bull driver, getting that done on Schiaparelli through that as well. I think he had to try and get that one done if he wanted any chance of getting further up ahead, as Schiaparelli picks himself up a 3 second time penalty as well.
Yeah, that was on the exit of turn 9 where we picked up that 3-second time penalty. Held on as well, 3-second time penalty. Could be the case of the time penalties really coming into the factor of the race. Louis, in the meantime, on the back of AlphaTrix, so still for the lead of the race. Toxic, by the way, in a bit of no man's land. He's currently net leading this race, if I'm not mistaken. It's 22 seconds, so I think actually Toxic's probably in and around these guys before these guys, obviously when these guys come into the pits, he's going to be in and around AlphaTrix Louis. So that could be quite interesting to see. Toxic could pull off an absolute blinder out on track, and arguably, of course, since wrapping up the F2 Championship on Monday, he's really came about for himself. Spag, in the meantime, on the back of Larkin. When he was practicing football in his back garden earlier on, Spag, not practicing for League of Europe, but he's doing a good job. I think this is probably one of his better racers, and he's on the back of Larkin, and arguably, I think, this could be a battle that we could savour, because these two have had a little bit of history already. Toxic 3-second time penalty, but Spag and Larkin have had a good battle before. I think it was in Britain, if I'm not mistaken, where we saw these two battle. Louis is into the pits, interesting, but Spag on the back of Larkin for 10th at the minute.
Yeah, certain parts I was expecting that. So Lewis, yeah, here we go. One stop is what the Mercedes driver is going to be doing. AlphaTrix more than likely will make that pit stop this lap as well.
Where's
Same with
Toxic?
Montana and potentially Lakitu.
He's going to be miles ahead of Toxic here, surely. Louis, or just about. It's going to be quite close actually coming out of the pit lane. Toxic is going to be behind Louis. Probably by about a second, I think, as well, coming out of the pit. So Toxic behind Louis, that's the biggest indicator of a two-stop strategy not working around here, because Louis now on a one-stop is going to pull away. And Toxic, to be honest, I'm not going to be rude or anything to him. I think, honestly, his strategy is the correct one to go on for him, but in terms of the longer term in the race, it's probably the wrong strategy to go on, because he's going to let in the guys like further down, like Ice-T possibly could get involved in this, or the likes of June when he comes into the pits.
Yeah, certainly is as well. I didn't actually notice Ice-T coming in already on a set of the hards, and is actually
trying
to go around the outside of his teammate.
What a move this will be if he can pull it off. Waluigi, can he get the move done? He can! What a fantastic move that is by Waluigi, arguably on the quicker tyre, but Waluigi has just sailed that around the outside of turn 4, sign sealed and delivered through turn 5. Waluigi's doing it up to 13th, but Ice-T did not have a look in there at all, as we see Montana and Lakitu into the pits.
Certainly will, and this is a battle for the ages. If anyone was with us in PRL, you've got the likes of Lewis versus June. Lewis is going to have the DRS on the Spaniard of June, both on a set of the hard tyres, but June's is 15 laps older compared to Lewis. I don't think there's much that June's going to be able to do. Lewis just goes around the outside of the Spaniard, and well, I think it just made that one, it just sailed straight through. I don't think there was anything June could have really done, even if he tried to just block him. Nothing he could have done, really.
Here comes Schiaparelli as well on the back of Montana. Montana fresh out of the pits, and Schiaparelli has got the move done on fresher tyres. On warmer tyres, he's got the move done. 19.6 seconds, the gap between AlphaTrix and Louis out on track. That gap will inevitably come down. Is that enough for AlphaTrix to hold on to the lead of the race? I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is actually. I think Lewis may come out ahead of AlphaTrix at the end of this. I think his tyres are definitely starting to die, and I'm just going to ride on board with AlphaTrix to see if he does make his way into the pits this lap.
He is.
He does.
And Louis is just coming through turn 13 now on the mini-map. I'm on board with Spag, trying to chase down Larkin. There's a yellow flag in sector 1 and 2, and I think it's Cohen who's been caught up in an incident. Was that with Heldorn? Or has he just retired it out on track? I'm not sure. Yeah, he's retired that car out on track, so I think he might have made a little bit of a mistake. While Luigi, in the meantime, on the back of Matthias, and Louis, fastest lap of the race. Let's see where he is. He's going to be ahead of AlphaTrix. So Louis ahead of AlphaTrix. The undercut works for him out on track, and he's now into the lead of the race. And he's now a second clear as well, and has broken the DRS, which is fantastic. As Toxic tries to lunge it down the inside on Tuman behind. And the Williams man, just about gets the move done. I think he would have got the move done anyways. Just a little bit of contact. Toxic just got to be careful in seeing the other driver around him. But he's got the move done, has Toxic. He's up into third, and Heldorn has retired actually at the final corner, and the safety car is out. So we've got a safety car out on track in Mexico at the halfway stage pretty much. And Heldorn has lost it through the final corner. Looking at the minimap, nobody is close enough to him. Heldorn has lost that through the final corner. I wonder if he's run wide and tried to go flat out. Got caught in the outside curb and then went into the wall. I think that's probably what's happened there.
Yeah, it certainly is. And Alphatrix, I think he should have just been praying that was coming out 1 lap longer. I think he wanted that last lap, otherwise, well, now he's behind Lewis. Toxic as well. Doom has been gifted with this.
He has been absolutely gifted. He's in 4th position on a sort of hard compound of tyres. But what would you do if you were Doom, though, at this stage? Would you come in under the safety car for a fresh set of tyres, probably mediums, or would you stay out there for a couple of laps, risk it, and, well, there's the answer. He's coming into the pits, as is Toxic, interestingly.
To be fair, I would have done the same if I was in Toxic's position. He can go on a set of mediums, take them straight to the end, same with June.
Is it going to be a set of hards or a set of mediums, I wonder? Let's have a look. Mediums, you're right.
It'll be a set of mediums, yeah.
You're right, I thought it was going to be a set of hards. I thought he was going to play it safe, to be honest. But he's out in front, and Doom is going to be in 6th position. Absolutely unbelievable. I think Mark's bet now is definitely going to be going down the drain.
I think he is on about 12 seconds of penalties, though. I will just have a double check on that one, but let's have a look. 2, 3, yeah, he's on 4, in fact almost on 5 penalties, so to be fair as well with Doom, those penalties are going to knock him straight down the order. I know a few other guys have got penalties, the likes of Campbell, Chaparene, I think it was Matt or Ice-T were the other ones that had a penalty, but I know the amount that he's got, it could knock him all the way down depending on if he manages to get away from the pack after the safety car restart.
So we've lost 4 currently from the race. Held on Cohen, Cantera and Bullet Boy, all at their respective points out on track. But the safety car is out. We're just through the halfway stage here in League of Europe, and you can catch your breath. You can go and get your drink, because we're not going to be getting the restart underway this lap. Louis leads from Alphatrix in 2nd. The main talking point, however, though, Lakito in 3rd for Mercedes. And in the Constructors, Mercedes are leading Ferrari, I think, by 10 points or something. And Mercedes 1st and 3rd, this is going to give them a real advantage going into the final 2 rounds.
Yeah, it certainly will. And I just want to point out as well, I'm kind of surprised Verstappen didn't make his way into the pits, so he's on
still out
9-lap-old medium tyres, yeah, and he's still staying out. So I don't know if that was a very good strategy from the QBR man, but at the moment it looks like my prediction is coming true.
Your prediction is coming true. I mean, Campbell's down in 7th. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. He could jump up ahead of Toxic and the likes, you never know. But Louis, Alphatrix and Nikito, if this race was to stop now, I think J. Cole would be a richer man, to be honest. I'm sure people's put the bet on, if they can, on online betting and stuff like that, but still.
Oh. Can only keep my fingers crossed to that one.
Yeah, of course, hopefully you guys are enjoying the action out on track. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe to the channel, of course, if you are new. We've got more action coming for you on Monday as well. It's the League of Europe Formula 2 Championship. Although Toxic has already wrapped up the championship, we've still got the final round of the season in Germany. And then we've also got GT Sports. If you want to see me complain about a penalty that wasn't really my doing at all on Wednesday, then please do. Please tune in for that, because I will complain. So I hope the organisers are on watch. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, and also for me to just sort of trundle my way around the back of the pack on that Wednesday. So, yeah, make sure you guys do tune in for GT Sport on the Wednesday. And as James said as well, F2 currently on Monday. Final round of that one. I'm just looking at a bit of explicit content between Luigi and Matt. I don't think they can see each other, and I'm just seeing them go underneath him quite a lot.
Yeah, but that's what I saw on lap 1 between them. Nobody's going to stop them. I mean, if Matthias and Luigi are into that thing, then obviously, yeah, albeit, yeah, we're not complaining. We're grown men here. We don't want to laugh about things like that. Anyway. Lap 20 out of 36. Let's cut ourselves a bit thin and get on with some of the strategies that are actually out on track. Verstappen, interestingly, still hasn't came into the pits. He's in 4th, 4.5 tenths behind Nikita, obviously underneath the safety car. What is Verstappen's game plan coming into the race? Is it to possibly bring Spag into play, his teammate there down in 11th, and Verstappen to hold up the pack so Spag can try and make up positions? It's an interesting strategy if that is the case.
It certainly could be, and I also just want to point out as well, Montana is all the way down in 9th. He's only just up ahead of Larkin. I know it's under the safety car, but he's dropped by quite a few positions considering he started on the set of the mediums. I know he's come in 4th another set of medium compound, but he's dropped that right behind Campbell, who he was battling with before.
Yeah, Montana, the biggest loser actually out on track in terms of positions. 6 positions lost from 3rd down to 9th. Doom is the main gainer out of everyone. 13 lap old soft, 13 positions I should say, gained from 19th, so right on the back of the grid. Doom could be on for a driver of the day performance here out on track. Now I hope you've got your drinks at the ready. I haven't got a drink with me sadly, but the safety car is going to be coming in this lap, so this is going to get quite tasty I think, not only because Waluigi and Matthias can't see each other, but the safety car is going to come in this lap and we're about to get back underway. Louis' job now is to back up the pack effectively and not do a Doom who nearly ran into the back of Toxic there in the background. I nearly saw that. But Louis controlling the pace. Now through the baseball stadium section through 14 and 15. Remember, they can't overtake the safety car until the safety car actually comes into the pits, and then we'll see the racing underway. And Louis has got to back up the pack, and he now floors it through the final corner, cuts the inside. He doesn't want to go too soon. No, oh my goodness me, sideways through the final corner. Toxic had a great restart as well. He's side by side on the restart, and Alpha Trix is right on the back of Louis. So Louis has been crossed with the opposite lock through the final corner. Alpha Trix to the inside line, no DRS remember. Lakitu could have a bit of a double toe here. The German closing in quick. Louis though will hold the lead of the race, and Toxic down the inside on Verstappen gets the move done as well. Louis just about hanging on to the lead of the race under the restart.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's been a very clean restart, other than obviously the two with Matt and New Waluigi still doing their thing towards the back of the grid, but Montana very close to the back of Chaparralele going in towards turn 4. Campbell was also looking to see if he could send it down the inside of Doom, but had to back out last minute as Doom did just close that door on the Red Bull driver. But other than that, it looks like it's been a very, very clean restart from everybody else, and Lewis just maintaining that lead of the race.
Very good restart by everyone out on track, and Toxic feels he's got the need for speed actually out on track, as Lakitu is now under a little bit of pressure. Coming through the S section once again, on towards lap 22 we go. Louis leads, Alpha Trix second, Lakitu in third. A very clean restart by everyone. You can see the PG18 going on in the background while Luigi and Matt having a bit of a desync there. That's the only closest battle in terms of the restart actually out on track. But Louis hanging on to the lead of the race. But Toxic needed to get that move done past Verstappen. Otherwise, he would have lent himself in real trouble for later on in the race. But Toxic now on the back of Lakitu. Got a slight bit of clean air. He's on a set of mediums. He can now put the hammer down and try and undercut these guys towards the end of the race.
Yeah, he certainly will. And certainly being on a softer compound compared to those three guys that are up ahead of him, Toxic is going to want to try and get any sort of move done ASAP on them, but he doesn't want to try and do it too forcefully to make it by making a mistake, kind of like what he's just done through turn 2, going very wide out of there.
Yeah, Louis under pressure as well from Alpha Trix. Alpha Trix clearly getting a better run through the first 3 turns. He now comes through turn 4 leading the way. We're about halfway through the lap here on lap 22. You can see Matthias and Waluigi still swapping positions. But Louis leads from Alpha Trix in second. Lakitu arguably in third. But now Lakitu is in a very good position, I think, to be the wingman that Louis needs actually out on track. Although he will let Alpha Trix go, the main danger in behind is Toxic, and he's got to try and hold him up as much as possible so he can play that wingman role. And I think in terms of the constructors, Mercedes are playing an absolute blinder so far here out on track. First and third they are, as Toxic gets very close to the back there of Lakitu. DRS will be enabled. It won't be enabled, however, until they come around the final corner, as Toxic are very close there to the back of Lakitu. That could allow Verstappen into play as well, as now DRS is enabled. Can Alpha Trix get the run on Louis for the lead of the race? Looks like Louis is just about going to hold sway. Alpha Trix still beginning to close him down towards turn 1. Can he get the move done? I don't think he can. Matthias, by the way, is trying to get past Spag. Side max against... Spag has also joined an esports team. It's gone off the top of my mind though, but Spag is through still and holds on into 11th position as Matt tried to get that move done. Doom is on the back of Verstappen, Toxic on the back of Lakitu. Don't know where to turn here.
Yeah, neither do I. I think, to be honest with you, Doom, like you were saying before with Toxic getting past Verstappen, I think Doom needs to do the same thing, because, especially with the amount of penalties he's got, if Verstappen, well, I'm not too sure if Verstappen is going to make a pit stop again. I'm sure he will have to, as those tires will not last to the end, but if he doesn't, he's going to need to get past it ASAP.
He will have to, and Doom, I think, shouldn't hold back. He's got to be passive aggressive, I think, is the best way to describe it. He's got to be aggressive, but not enforce himself into a scenario where he gets a penalty or where he gets disqualified from the race. Mark will be very pleased if that happens though. Schiaparelli on the back of Campbell, 0.5 of a second separating out on track. The German and the Scotsman about to do battle, but another one about to do battle is Alphatrix on the back of Louis. Can he get the run down towards someone? I mean, looking at closing speed, here comes Alphatrix. Is Louis going to defend to the inside on? He won't. Alphatrix is going to have a go at him here. The championship leaders are battling out down towards turn 1. Can Louis get the inside on? He can. Alphatrix will try and switch it back. A little bit of a lag moment there from Louis, and Toxic tries to force his way through on Lakitu as well. 2 in a bed, coming down towards turn 4, between them both and Louis, forcing Alphatrix nearly onto the grass. Toxic's trying to go around the outside of Lakitu, and he's not going to pull it off, surely. Is he down the inside of turn 5? Can he get the move done? Toxic on Lakitu. He can! Brilliant move by Toxic. Full on commitment from Toxic, and the man of the moment is up into 3rd position. Fantastic move. All that led really to Louis defending Alphatrix for the lead of the race, and Toxic having a look in on Lakitu. Fantastic move by Toxic.
No, it certainly was, and as you were just saying as well, with those two that were battling up ahead, I think Lakitu was just stuck behind Alphatrix, and there wasn't much he was going to be able to do. Toxic just took massive amount of advantage, especially being on the softer compounder tyre, and just got that move straight done on that Mercedes driver. Just a little bit further on behind as well, Verstappen is starting to lose touch with these guys just up ahead, and also Lakitu as well.
Quite an interesting line there from Louis, actually coming around the final corner. Took the outside line, tried to break the toe immediately. I'm afraid it hasn't worked, because Alphatrix is going to have a go here down towards turn 1. It's like a slithering snake in behind as well. Alphatrix to the inside line. He's going to try and switch it back again. Watch out for Toxic though, because he's on the back. He's got the quicker tyres, and he's looking right on the back of the 2 leaders. And the championship leaders have got a real party pooper here in Toxic in 3rd position, because Toxic has driven such an astute race so far out on track, and I'm surprised actually Verstappen is still in play, and he's in 5th position, and he's not really holding up the guys behind him either. He's still keeping up with these.
Yeah, he definitely is. Verstappen doing a very good job actually, especially being on 16 lap on mediums. Doing a very, very good job actually. In fact, June, I'm not too sure if he's actually closing up to him. I can see it's just the gap keeps on going between sort of like 2 and 5 tenths per second, and I think Verstappen just gets a much better run coming out of the S's, but then going down to DRS straight, Verstappen having that DRS on Lakitu.
Phil Campbell was going to have a go at June there, actually coming towards turn 13. Doesn't pull it off. There's my first voice back of the night. Alphatrix on the back of Louis though, and Louis again tries to break the toe down the straight. This time it might have worked. It's now 5.5 tenths as they come across the line. We've got 10 laps to go here. I'm sure you guys don't want to go anywhere for Division 1. It's Louis who leads, Alphatrix in 2nd, Toxic in 3rd. Myself, James Head and J. Cole taking you through this one for the final 10 laps of the race. And J. Cole, honestly, this has been probably one of the better races of the season that I've experienced in Division 1. And Toxic picks up another 3-second time penalty, and I think that's 9 seconds from now, if I'm not mistaken.
I will have a quick check for you, but
Montana!
That's definitely going to cost him a few
points.
points.
He's gone way too deep on Schiaparelli. Can he get the move done? Oh, the stewards might have a look into that one. Montana dived it down the inside. He missed his braking point completely on the back of Schiaparelli. Got the move done. He ran off track. Schiaparelli would have had a clean sail of things. I'm not sure. The stewards might want to have a look in that one.
Yeah, certainly will, and I think Schiaparelli just had a bit of quite a big impact on the back of Montana. In fact, he is still keeping tabs of him. I don't think he's got any wing damage, so yeah, it doesn't look as if anything's been damaged. So yeah, as you said, the stewards might have to have a look at that one with Montana having that, but we'll wait and see on that one, as he's actually just picked himself up a 3-second time penalty just to add to injury.
Yeah, Larkin had an insult to injury there. Schiaparelli had an insult to injury. 3-second time penalty. It's because I was on board with Larkin. Look at the train running down towards turn 1. Alphatrix again getting close to Louis. Can he get the move done this time? I think he's just going to go in behind him. And Alphatrix, middle name of cautious, I think, out on track tonight. But it's not really letting Toxic come into play. And arguably, I think Toxic's tyres, especially on that front right, is beginning to blister already. So goodness knows how he's going to get those tyres to the end of the race.
I'm more concerned about Verstappen. He's taken these 18 laps so far and he's still doing a very good job of it.
He's doing a fantastic job, and I think the plan from Verstappen was to try and get Spag through the field. Spag's obviously had his own battle with Larkin, but Verstappen is doing a fantastic job and holding up the rest of the pack, and the front 4 now just beginning to pull away slightly.
Yeah, you can see that June is really hoping that these front four eyes. He's actually closing up to the back of Verstappen, leading up towards the stadium section. Verstappen still maintains that P5 for now, and I don't think June's going to try anything in towards the stadium because he's going to hope that those guys have pulled away just that second, just enough for that DRS for no DRS for Verstappen, but in fact they haven't, and Verstappen will still have that DRS. June, I think, was hoping that it was going to be a bit closer, but unfortunately he isn't going to be able to get any sort of done.
Is Alphatrix close enough again to the back of Louis? Running down towards someone. Now he's going to have a go at him, the Ferrari man, down the inside line. Can he get the move done? Louis trying to hold it around the outside in towards turn 2. Alphatrix wants this one though. Down the inside through turn 3. Just about coming out on top, but watch out for Louis and watch out for Toxic in behind as well. Could be 3 wide down towards turn 4. We take this from Toxic's perspective, who weaves actually out of the slipstream to try and break the total Lakitu. And Louis has somehow defended the position for the lead of the race, and June has dropped down. I'm not sure what's happened to June in all of that. I think he might have had a bit of contact with Verstappen. Chapelletti trying to lunge in there, just about pulls it off, and he's up to 8th, and June has dropped down positions now. Oh, and again,
he's gone straight on.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a tap, I think, from Larkin actually out on track, and June's rear end looks very unstable. I'm not sure if he's overheated the tyres. He must have done. There's no puncture there. That's my first thought. But June, yeah, retiring out of the race. Clearly not happy with Chapelletti's move there. I'm sure that one will get investigated. But June probably, I think, going to retire out of the race. He's in a point scoring position. He may as well continue, if I've got to be honest. And I mean, it's only a point, but he can go for fastest lap.
Yeah, we'll keep our eye out on him as well. Because, well, I'm not too sure because I know it's the top 12. So, in fact, he's coming in the pits. I think that's going to be the end for the Spaniard. Yeah,
I'm thinking
so retired, unfortunately.
I'm thinking it's top 15 for a point scoring position. It's top 12. That's Formula 2 I'm thinking of. Alphatrix, though, on the back of Louis. Can he get this one done? Finally, the Ferrari and the Mercedes are having a right set 2 out on track. Toxic could still yet be the party pooper in all of this, but they're pretty much going to be around the same tyre strategies in turn. But Louis, I've got to be honest, is putting up an ultimate defensive driving masterclass out on track.
And also, just looking on the boards, you're not seeing those from both just the Matt and New Aloigi. Spag was trying to go up the inside of Larkin. They were both side by side. Larkin managed to defend the position, and Spag had a bit of an oversteer moment, which then allowed the two of Matt, and in fact Ice-T, New Aloigi didn't actually manage to get past in the end, but it allowed Ice-T and Matt to go straight past.
Goodness me, I thought he was going to get the move done. Sorry to cut in there, J. Cole, but Alonso thought he was going to get the move done there, but he doesn't. And Ice-T, as you say, I think Ice-T and Spag, if I'm not mistaken, might have had a bit of contact through the S section. That's why he has got the position done on Spag. I'm sure Spag will not be happy with that one.
No, he certainly won't, but now on the front, Alphatrix now down the inside of Lewis, up in towards turn 1. They're both still side by side. He's tried it many a time.
Oh, what a move!
Not able to get anything done, and Lewis keeping that position in first from Alphatrix.
That is I did say it was a defensive driving masterclass. I think that just proves it. Louis still somehow in the lead of this race as Toxic nearly rear ends into the back of Alphatrix, but my god, Louis is holding these guys up. It's letting Campbell come into play. My prediction could be on still.
Certainly could, it certainly could.
It's a phenomenal race this in Mexico. Brilliant watching this.
I'm really still surprised Verstappen is still out on those 21 lap old medium tyres.
Yeah, he's got Montana on the back of him, and Montana has actually just picked up a 3-second time penalty, but Verstappen looking like he could be a driver of the day here. 21 lap on a set of medium compounded tyres as Chapelletti rear ends into the back of Montana, and Montana succinctly rear ends into the back of Verstappen. No damage for either of those guys out on track, with Verstappen holding on to 6th position. As you say, I think this has been probably one of his drives of the season. He'll be happy with this one. I'm sure he'll be boasting about it on the Division 2 stream later.
He certainly will, but again, to the front of the pack, Alphatrix actually doesn't go for this move on Lewis this time. He might just be storing it up for this move down in towards turn 4. Lewis got much
beautiful
better
one
turn 3 from him, so I don't think Alphatrix is going to have any sort of opportunity, which is now allowing Toxic to start getting pulled away from those guys as well. Lakitu is need to do a mission just to try and keep up with all of those guys just up ahead of him.
Yeah, just seen Luigi go down the inside through turn 2, completes the move on Spag. Spag, arguably, I think, has had a good race. He just hasn't had the look in the last few laps or so, with him having contact with Ice-T, and with him dropping down a couple of positions as well, Spag has really impressed me, I think, this race. Doing a fantastic job out on track. He's in 13th, but that really doesn't write home his race, because he would have been, I think, if it wasn't for the safety car, maybe inking towards the top 5. As Montana...
yeah, just around the outside of Verstappen into the stadium section. He went around the outside of him and got that move done. You can see that Verstappen's tyres are definitely gone off as now Chapelele down the inside into the final corner with Larkin just behind him as well. Larkin not trying to get any sort of move done on any of those guys, but Verstappen doing an absolute wonder of just defending from those guys, although I don't think it's going to be happening much. He has still got the DRS, but Chapelele also has that DRS on Verstappen, but Larkin is down that inside. Chapelele is stuck in a bit of a box. I don't know what's going to happen.
3 wide. Oh, have they kept it clean through there? Larkin trying to go around the outside of Chapelele. Can he get the move done? He can't. Ice-T is round through turn 1. And that, I think, was, if I'm not mistaken, Chapelele going off track to try and complete the move. In fact, it's Matthias on the back of Larkin. Matthias on the back of Larkin has came out of absolutely nowhere into 10th position. And he's beginning to get into this, the side Max man. He's in 10th. And on his first race in the racing board, he could be on for a top 8, possibly. Oh, just as soon as I say that, you need to lose it.
There's always still that opportunity, obviously with the penalties being applied to as well, there's always still that opportunity he can get that top 8, but for now he's just going to have to sit behind the Ferrari driver, kind of like what the Williams is doing at the moment of Toxic behind AlphaTrix. There's still no way of him getting through, and same with AlphaTrix as Lewis picks up a 3-second time penalty.
So 3-second time penalty for Louis, and that was on the exit of turn 15, where Toxic has picked up a couple, I think, there through that corner. AlphaTrix though leads, 4 laps to go. I will have to hot-footed quite literally after this one. My other commentary is about to begin at 8 o'clock for AlphaTrix. I'm not leaving this one in a hurry. AlphaTrix down the inside of Louis. Can he get the move done? Louis around the outside again. Defensive masterclass or not? No! AlphaTrix is back on the inside. They fight side by side, and now Toxic is in for the fight here. Could be 3 wide down towards turn 4. Ice-T is out of the race. He's retired out in the pit lane. And Toxic's trying to go around the outside for the lead of the race. It's unbelievable stuff. AlphaTrix has pulled off a phenomenal move, and Toxic has got up to 2nd as well. But Louis trying to hold around the outside. He can't. And Louis losing out. I think the hard, those 2 lap more that he has done on that set of tyres now beginning to come back to haunt him.
It certainly is, and look at the gap he's already built out from AlphaTrix and Toxic. Well, look at the gap between them. It's now already 7 tenths between them. Lewis all over the back of Toxic, and I'm thinking he might try and go for something into stadium. No, he doesn't. He just sticks behind him for now. But it's almost that 1 second gap already, and it was only just the other thing that happened just before the S section as well. But Toxic does manage to maintain that DRS onto the Ferrari of AlphaTrix, and Lewis is definitely going to be kicking himself. He wants to get past back that Williams ASAP if he wants any chance.
He could do it
in this title fight.
He's going to do it. He's down the inside line, and Toxic made to look like a pure mortal, I think, out on track there. Louis is through. He's up to 2nd. So Toxic not having the straight line speed and the set on the mediums going off as well, now beginning to let Louis come back into play. But Lakita and Campbell 4th and 5th, and Montana is just sneaking around there in the background as well. He could pull off quite something in the final couple of laps if he can get onto the back of this pack, of course. But my God, this is breathless racing out on track. Spag and Matthias are going side by side down in towards turn 5. Not going to get the move done there though. Spag is actually off track, and Matthias takes full advantage. A little bit of a contact moment there, but Matthias is doing, he's up into 10th position once again.
I'll tell you what as well though, Larkin could definitely, if he catches up to the back of this pack, he could be looking at a couple positions with these guys that have got penalties up ahead of him.
Yeah, Larkin on penalties, I think, arguably, could be the one to watch for the top 5, maybe even sneaking a slight podium out on track. AlphaTrix leads. 2 more laps to go. AlphaTrix leads from Louis in 2nd, and what has probably been one of the most brilliant races I think I've seen here in Division 1 so far this season. I mean, it's 3 rounds to go, but my God, we have seen a lot of action. Campbell and Montana going to be, well, I thought they were going to be side by side, but now Montana actually backs off, and Campbell will hold on to that 5th position out on track. Is Alonso getting close onto the back of Spag? He is. Not going to get the move done there though for 11th and 12th for the final point scoring positions. But Louis is on the back of Alphatrix again. He doesn't want to lie down.
No, he's hoping to try and force Alphatrix into a mistake, try and get him a penalty as well, but I don't think he's going to be able to force him into any sort of error, especially with the way that these two have been driving this entire race. I'm more surprised that Lewis has also picked himself up that 3-second time penalty in comparison to him and Alphatrix. So, Lewis, it's going to be an interesting one. He's really hoping that Alpha's going to pick up that penalty in the final lap, but I mean, if he doesn't, of course it means Alpha's going to extend his championship lead and make it almost near impossible for Lewis to get any sort of advantage on him.
A little bit of a cut there actually from Alphatrix, coming through 10.15. Now through 16 and 17 for the penultimate time. Onto the final lap of the race we go. Championship showdown possibly here in Mexico, but it's Alphatrix who leads, 6.5 tenths of a second. Louis trying to desperately close up. He needs to use up his EOS to try and get as close as possible for a run down towards turn 4. But he's not close enough down towards turn 1 to try and get the move done. Toxic is in third. He has driven one of the most sensational races I think I've ever seen him drive in any league, let alone in League of Europe. He has driven such an astute race in third position. He's on a set of mediums, but I thought those tyres would have been gone by now. They're not. Waluigi sets the new fastest lap of the race as well, 1:16 flat from Waluigi, but Toxic, half a lap to go. Alphatrix is going to hang on here unless he picks up a 3-second time penalty, which I hope to God he doesn't, and I'm touching wood right now that he doesn't. But Waluigi picks up a 3-second time penalty. Louis track extends slightly. Toxic trying to get onto the back. I think we're going to be seeing the result as it is. However, Montana is on the back of Campbell coming into the baseball stadium section. Not going to be close enough, and Verstappen is under pressure from Matthias. We'll cut back to the leaders in just a second. Is Matthias going to go all the way around the outside here on Verstappen? No, he doesn't. Alphatrix around the final corner. What a race in Mexico. Alphatrix takes the win out on track. Louis in second. Toxic with massive amount of penalties dropping down. And Lakitu gets third position. Larkin in the end in sixth. Matthias trying to fight off the attentions in behind. There's a whole load of changes there. We'll go through it in a minute. My God, that was breathless stuff.
Wow, that was very close towards the end, and I've just realised how many places Spag has just jumped up.
Oh my God, yeah. Spag up to 7th as a result of penalties around him. Waluigi across the line to take in 13th position. Matthias dropping down to 12th as a result of penalties. We will ride on board with all of those jumps up and jumps down in terms of the grid order. But what a race in Mexico. It is Alphatrix who extends his championship lead. Louis in the end finishing in second, and Lakitu finishing in third. Got to hand it to you, you weren't too far off your prediction.
Very close. Oh, I just need to predict them the other way around.
Very close indeed, but better than what my prediction happened. Let's just ignore that. If anybody put a bet on my prediction, you're sadly poorer. Yeah. But anyways, a fantastic race here in Mexico. Insane in terms of action. Fantastic stuff. And it's Alphatrix who takes the lead of the race. Look at the penalties, and look at that. Spag, the only one, apart from Alphatrix, who didn't pick up a penalty out of all of those who finished. So good stuff from him. Alphatrix wins though, from Louis in second. Lakitu is in third. Campbell in fourth. Montana in fifth. Good drive from him. Larkin in sixth. Spag in seventh. Oh, I'm not sure. Well, tell you my driver of the day in just a second. Toxic in 8th, Verstappen in 9th, Alonso 10th, Chapelelli 11th, Matthias in 12th, Waluigi in 13th, Ice-T, he'll be having an iced tea I think after that one, Doom, Heldon, Cohen, Cantera and Bullet Boy all DNFing out of the race. Oh, what an insane race.
That was an insane race, and I mean, as you were saying about driver of the day, if Toxic didn't have that many penalties, I would have said Toxic, but it's just the amount that he was trying to keep up with him. You could just see how much he has to cut to try and keep up with the likes of Alpha and Lewis. He was doing an insane drive, but I mean, I really think it would have to go to Spag, especially from 16 to 7th without any penalties as well. It's just an insane drive for the Toro Rosso man. I think that might be his highest position, if I'm not mistaken.
It is his highest finish of the season. 7th position, his highest finish of the season. I'm sure Spag will be very pleased with that one. My driver of the day as well is going to be Spag. I think he drove a fantastic race out on track. Toxic just needed to cut out his penalties and it would have been a perfect race and he would have got driver of the day from me. But Spag ultimately gets driver of the day for me. A fantastic race. I'm sure you guys will have your favourite drivers as well out on track in the comments section and in Discord as well. But my god, absolutely breathless stuff. Final thoughts then from yourself, J. Cole. What a phenomenal race.
It was a very good race. It was, wow, I'm looking forward to these last two races. I mean, the gap's now going to be extended. I think it's now up to 34 points between these two, so Alpha can win it at the next race. I think all he needs to do, if my maths isn't bad, I think finishing P7, and he will take the win of the championship.
Yeah, I think it'll be like P6 or P7, I'm sure. He will take if he wins the championship. If Louis, obviously, I think Alpha Trix and Louis though are going to have a right set 2 next week. Please tune in for Division 1 next week. If you felt inspired to, like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Tick that notification bell so you know when we go live. The next time we'll be live is probably in about, well, I would say 30 seconds time, because Division 2 and Division 4 is coming up now. And also, we've got Formula 2 action on Monday in Germany, so don't miss out for that. GT Sport on Wednesday, and then we're back at it again for the final 2 rounds of the season. And if I'm not mistaken, next week is Brazil.
I think, I'll have a check.
I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. I might have just totally told everyone the wrong track there.
I think it's actually USA.
USA for the final 2 rounds of the season. If you can check that before we end the stream, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, it certainly is. So it is that's the circuit of the Americas next weekend. So make sure you guys do tune in for that one. My name's been J. Cole. James, thank you very much for this whole thing as well. And I suppose we will catch you guys next week for USA.
We will indeed. Thank you so much for watching. Final thoughts from me. Please stay at home. Protect the NHS. Protect your health service wherever you live, either in Europe or around the world. And save lives. Because if you do not stay at home, you don't save lives. It's as simple as that. Thank you so much for watching Division 1 tonight. And until next time, for a potential season thriller in America, goodbye.